So the news that we've been waiting for has finally been announced. Everything that has been building up to this point, all of the speculation, all of the rumors, all of the anticipation, Sergio Perez will be at Red Bull for 2021 alongside Max Verstappen. Now, this is just incredible. You know, it's a gloomy, horrible, dark day today. It was raining as well, and hopefully you guys can see me. Hopefully the light and the camera is fine, but it is sunny somewhere in Mexico. There is just light on Sergio Perez because this is an absolutely unbelievable opportunity. You know, I think more than the Sergio Perez aspect, more than the Red Bull aspect, more what they can do, and also, you know, Alex Albon, I'll talk about him a little bit later on. Getting those things, you know, putting those things aside, this is a massive W to all of the drivers that have been hustling and grinding for such a long time and have not been given the opportunity that they deserve, and have seen other people be promoted above them, even if they haven't actually, you know, kind of been outperformed by those drivers. This is a massive W to all of those, and I'm just so happy for Sergio. Obviously, this is something that has been running since Sergio was dropped by Aston Martin / Racing Point midway through the year, and to be honest, even though it was rumored, I still never kind of believed that it would happen. I always thought that it would either be Alex Albon or Nico Hülkenberg. You know, I always thought they would kind of just, you know, just leave Alex in there for maybe another season before the brand new regs in 2022. But the fact that they've actually went out and got Sergio Perez, the guy who has proved his worth over and over and over again. Now, Sergio Perez, you know, he's one of those guys that has really kind of come into the light in 2020, but the fact is, he's been killing it in F1 for the better part of a decade since he made his debut in 2011. 2012 was his big kind of explosive season. Then it kind of went a little bit downhill in 2013 during a bad year with McLaren where the team was in decline. He didn't have like a bad season against world champion Jenson Button, but it just didn't work out. And then he rejuvenated his career. He restored his reputation at Force India, who then turned into Racing Point. And just when it looked like there was light at the end of the tunnel, you know, the team turning into Aston Martin, perhaps getting bigger with big ambitions and lots more investment, he gets dropped, despite the fact that he has been outperforming his teammates for the better part of over half a decade. I think he's outperformed every single one of his teammates for the last 6 seasons. So it always felt like, you know, this is Formula One. Of course he's not going to get it. He's going to be passed over because Formula One is not fair. But today, this is such a feel-good hire. Sergio Perez will finally get a chance in a top 3 team. Funnily enough, even in 2020, despite Racing Point having a great car, because they didn't finish in the top 3 in the constructors, Sergio Perez has never driven for a top 3 team in Formula One, but that will all change in 2021, and I am so happy because, again, this is a massive win to all of the hard-working drivers who have just stuck it out for such a long time, who have always delivered to the maximum of their ability and maximizing their car. And yeah, this is just absolutely fantastic. Again, I didn't think it would happen, but seeing it, you know, in black and white, knowing that it's now official for 2021, this is absolutely incredible, and it makes me even more excited going into 2021. Now, in terms of what Formula One has released in terms of the statement, a very kind of loose, you know, nothing kind of concrete, kind of a bit of a strange statement. They've said 2020 has served up one final big driver market move. Well, Lewis Hamilton has still not signed a Mercedes, so, you know, you never know. With the news that Sergio Perez will replace Alex Albon as Max Verstappen's Red Bull teammate in 2021. Albon, whose position has been under consideration for some time, will step back to become the team's reserve driver. And then there's some other stuff. It's very kind of loosey-goosey, but at the end of the day, I think it's a 1-year contract, which is exactly what I think they should have done. I think this is the perfect move. However, it does kind of, you know, Sergio Perez, it's great for him, and in terms of the Red Bull aspect, I'll get to them in a second. Obviously for Alex Albon, you know, it really did feel, you know, the build up to this, and over the past few days, I've had a really strange feeling. It's just felt like lose-lose, because Alex Albon, he deserves to be in Formula One, and sadly, he has just been the guy who has kind of been left out of this crazy driver market, which has seen some drivers enter Formula One potentially who definitely don't deserve to be in Formula One, but nevertheless, he has been the guy who has been left out. I hope and pray he is now, of course, the reserve driver at Red Bull for 2021, but he needs to be in Formula One in 2022. There is no doubt he is definitely good enough, and that's why it kind of feels like it always felt like a lose-lose, regardless of who's going to get that seat. We were either going to lose a very hard-working Sergio Perez who deserved a top drive, or we were going to lose a young talent who definitely deserved more time and, you know, perhaps, you know, a different seat, a different team to kind of grow in Formula One. So it's a shame to not see Alex on the grid next year, but I really do hope that he can make a comeback in 2022. I know he will, because he is a great driver. I don't care what anyone says, he is definitely a good driver. And yeah, but moving on to the Red Bull aspect, this is perfect. This is absolutely what they needed. Sergio Perez is no pushover. Sergio Perez is not someone that you can just lean on. Max Verstappen is gonna have his work cut out. Red Bull are gonna have their work cut out. There is so much that Sergio Perez is gonna bring into the team in terms of experience, in terms of developing the car, building a family culture, because that is exactly what he had at Racing Point / Force India. Hopefully he can impart some of his, experience onto that team to help them improve. And that's, that's just off track. In terms of the on track stuff, I mean, Sergio Perez is the most dependable pair of hands in Formula One right now. I mean, the season that he just had in 2020, getting 2 podiums, missing 2 races as well due to COVID, and getting that race win. I mean, the stats and the performances and his consistency speak for themselves. When you look at drivers like Pierre Gasly or Carlos Sainz, they've had 1 or 2 really solid seasons and are really building a good foundation. As I said, Sergio Perez has a nigh on a decade of this kind of consistency. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be spicy. And the one thing I have said, I've talked about this obviously in a previous video, but this is going to be very good for Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez is going to give Max a kick up the backside. Sergio Perez, again, he's no pushover. He's got a very kind of mean streak as well, which is, I think, what Red Bull and Max kind of need. He needs that kind of bit of motivation. He's had it all his way. He's had it very easy since Daniel Ricciardo left at the end of 2018. And Sergio Perez is definitely going to give Max Verstappen a few sleepless nights, which is good. These guys need to be pushed, and Red Bull need to kind of get their head straight, because they've been so, not mediocre, they've been okay, but so just underperforming in the sense that they haven't delivered a good enough car to even challenge for a title. And even their drivers, there always seems to be a problem. In 2018 it was bad reliability. In 2019 and 2020 it seems to be the drivers just not quite being able to get in tune with the car and with the team. Obviously this does kind of call into question their young driver program, but yeah, it was always going to be a lose-lose. So, there was always going to be some bad aspect of this. But at the end of the day, for Red Bull, I think this is what they need. They need an experienced pair of hands. And of course, it is also a big test on them as well. If it works with Sergio Perez, which I think it will, I think that's exactly what they needed. They needed someone who was hardened. They needed someone who was battle-tested, and also someone with a lot of experience that is going to push Verstappen and push the team as well. And I don't think that the younger drivers had the confidence in themselves and also in their machinery to really be able to do that. So maybe a year out for Alex Albon, and certainly we've seen what happened to Pierre Gasly this year, leaving Red Bull. So I think it's the perfect scenario for Red Bull. But if they don't deliver, then I think then it will really call into question what I think a lot of us do suspect, which is that Max Verstappen perhaps has a little bit too much his own way in that team, and maybe Red Bull really do need to restructure as a team in terms of what they do going forward. So yeah, in the end, this is just kind of my reaction to the news. I mean, just to summarize, I am so happy. I think Red Bull also, in terms of the strongest driver lineups in 2021, that is a video that I'm going to do next year in terms of evaluating the driver lineups when everything is 100%. Red Bull have got easily a top 3 driver lineup on the field. I'm saying that now. It is a mega lineup with Perez, the reliable guy. He is going to get podiums, no doubt about it. And he is, mark my words, going to get wins as well if the car is as good as it is this year as well. So yeah, I mean, what an amazing story. Sergio Perez, the guy who came in as a pay driver in 2011, the guy who isn't really talked about as much, is not appreciated and has not been appreciated in Formula One enough, despite, he only seemed to get all of this buzz when he was kind of kicked out of Racing Point. But, before then, there was barely anyone even talking about how good he was. But I always trusted the guy. I always knew he was a quality driver. And yet again, he delivered in 2020. And I think he will deliver at Red Bull for 2021. This is incredible news. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see him in that Red Bull, in the Red Bull overalls, for it all to just be 100% real, and it makes the 2021 season even more exciting. It just throws another spanner into the works, and I cannot wait to see what he's going to be able to do in that car against Verstappen and for Red Bull as a team, pairing in 2021. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, there you go, guys. This is just again my really quick reaction to the Sergio Perez news of him going to Red Bull. It still doesn't feel real, me even saying it. Sergio Perez going to Red Bull for 2021 alongside Max Verstappen. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in terms of the Sergio Perez side, the Red Bull and the Verstappen side, and also the Alex Albon side as well. Again, I'm super sad that he's not going to be in Formula One. He definitely deserves it. I've been saying this all year, but Formula One sadly is just like that. But nevertheless, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to drop a like, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to check out my social medias. Instagram and Twitter will be above. And guys, I will see you in the next one.